Hello everyone, my name is Afzal and I am from Myro Farms. Myro Farms is a small garden center located in Hyderabad and Secunderabad. Today we are making a video for Nasasko. This is the occasion of Van Mahotsav. What is Van Mahotsav? Van Mahotsav was a festival started in the 1950s in India to encourage planting of trees. So we are here to give you ideas on how to plant trees, how to plant small plants, indoor plants, cactus, succulents, everything that you can do, bearing in mind the current lockdown and staying at home. So let us start. So on this occasion of Van Mahotsav, I'm going to show you how to make miniature gardens. The miniature garden is nothing fancy. It is simply a big garden compressed into a small size. Now for this current scenario of lockdown, this is a perfect garden to make in the safety of your house. You don't have to go out. You can simply use whatever plants you have at home or get a few plants and plant them in your house. So what are we going to do? We're going to make 3 miniature gardens today. We're going to start with a medium size one. In this particular miniature garden, we are going to use indoor plants. Whenever you're doing any particular potted garden, you have to understand that you need to pair plants of the same type. What do I mean by the same type? Is that these plants need to have a similar watering requirement, a similar light requirement. Okay, so whenever we are making a garden combining a number of plants, we will choose plants of the same type, that is of the same light and water. So we're going to start with an cactus and succulent miniature garden. Now most of these cactus and succulents require medium to full sunlight. So this particular garden can be easily designed for a balcony which gets a reasonable amount of light. Now most of the cactus and succulents require very less water. Remember that. If you overwater, they're going to end up dying. So we're going to pair all of these plants of the similar type in this particular garden. I have already pre-filled this pot with a little potting mix. If you do not have any potting mix, a ready potting mix at your home, then you can simply mix some red soil, 50% red soil, 50% sand. If you do have a good potting mix, that is excellent because it will help in drainage. It is very important to have good drainage in your pots, especially for cactus and succulents because they do not like their roots to be in water. If in particular your pot does not have drainage, then you have to take special care while you're watering it. You have to remember that you will not put excess water. Water can be slightly less but not more. So we'll start with a few cactus and succulents. I'll start with this very fantastic zebra aloe, as it is commonly known. It's actually a variety of Havartia, which is a succulent. Now what is a succulent? Succulent are plants which store a lot of water. So basically the succulent in nature, they store a lot of water in their roots, stems and leaves. Okay, so whenever you actually, a perfect example of a succulent plant is an aloe vera. We all have seen an aloe vera in the amount of gel it has inside. So this is a mechanism of the plant storing extra water for when it will not get water, which also explains us why we should not overwater, because the mechanism of this plant is to soak up all the water whenever it gets it. If you are going to overwater this plant, if you're going to water it every day, the plant is going to soak up all the water it is getting every day, and as a result the roots will rot and it will die. So let us start with these plants. Now whenever you're making a miniature garden, try to put the taller plants in the back and the smaller ones in between. Now this particular garden that we're going to make, what I'm trying to do is leave some space in the front empty. What we will do is we will put some pebbles or stones and then we'll decorate it with miniature ornaments. So let us start. You simply take out the plant from its existing pot. So you press the pot like this, which helps in it coming out. You don't necessarily have to disturb the root ball, it can be as it is, but there's no problem if you accidentally do. So this particular zebra, I'm going to put it at the back but slightly at an angle because I want it to be visible. Notice I'm not pushing it too much inside because it's already filled with soil and I want it to maintain that level. Next, I am using another succulent plant, and this one is called a kalanchoe or a kalankoi. This one is a kalanchoe tomentosa nigra. Now like I said before, they all have similar light requirements. This also thrives in semi-shade. In fact, the kalanchoes can also be kept in full sun. The next is we are using a small plant. This is a jade. Jade is a very common plant, but this is a variegated jade. What does variegation mean? It simply means that it has two colors. It has green and it has a bit of yellow, and if it gets plenty of sunlight, it also has a pinkish shade to it. We're simply going to, now you don't have to complicate the process, you just simply have to place the plants in the pot, and we can arrange them later. We can actually bundle them together later. Now we're going to use this Havartia. This one is a Havartia pumila. Looks like an aloe, similar family. We're just going to put them in and slightly press it. The next plant we're going to use is a Crassula. The Crassula or the Crassula ovata is considered an extremely lucky plant. It can easily be procured from any nursery. The Crassula is a very hardy plant, but once again, you don't overwater it. If you overwater it, it will die. I'm just simply placing the Crassula, and notice I'm just pushing the soil in front. Okay, I'm just pushing the soil mix or potting mix in front to just hold the plants in place. We can also put a cactus in here, but if you're not very fond of cactus, then you can simply avoid. Why can we put the cactus in here? Because cactus and succulents have a similar light and water requirement. I'm putting another type of Havartia. This one has small spines, but they don't actually poke. They look like spines, they're not exactly spines. So we're going to move the soil slightly in the front, and then we're going to just slowly put it in here. Now, like I said, we're going to leave some space empty in the front over here, but there's still some space for smaller plants. So what we're going to do is I'm just making a little space with my fingers to put in a couple of more succulents. You can never have enough succulents in a garden. Smaller succulents like these are varieties of sedums, a little sensitive, so you have to handle them with care. They're very easily going to shed leaves like this. The leaves are going to drop off, but don't worry, if the succulent actually breaks off a leaf, that's excellent. What you do is you just simply lay it on some other pot on the soil, wait for a few days, and it will start reproduction. I think just for sake of repetition, I'm going to put another succulent here on the side, which is gently going to put them in. Okay, there we go. We are more or less done. I would like to accommodate this particular succulent. This is a variety of Echeveria. It's a very beautiful one. It's got some excess soil, so I'll get rid of it. Another very common question we get asked while making succulent gardens or miniature gardens is that when we compact plants together like this, is it good, is it bad? So there's nothing wrong with it. You can go ahead and compact the plants. In fact, succulents actually thrive when they're compacted like this. They do well because there are a number of plants, the water gets soaked up by a lot of plants, and they like to grow when they're root bound, as in when their root is tightly packed. So I think that looks pretty decent. We have some space left in front. So what we're going to do is we're just going to You can put some gravel, you can put some sand, you have some good good small rocks, you can do that. You can also put some patio mix if you have that, but a gravel or some stones is a very good alternative. So what we are going to do here is we would probably put some grey color gravel. Now you just slowly put them and then you level them. Okay. And then what you do is you go ahead and push in the soil wherever you can see it. If you feel that there's some extra soil needed somewhere, go ahead and put it. In this particular arrangement of mine, there's no real need. Now I'm going to turn this for you to see better. There is room for us to put some gravel here because it looks nice and complete. Okay, don't worry about the gravel getting into the corners of the leaves and all that. That's fine, you can take it off later or leave it as it is. We're just going to fill everything. You can put it in the center gently. You can take a paper, roll it up and use it as a funnel and drop the gravel in there. I like to do it like this. For the sides it's easier. Okay. That feels nice now. Okay. All the plants are in place. They're not moving around. If they're moving around, pack them with soil or gravel. Now the part of putting the plants in is complete, but it lacks that color and a little fun. So we're going to add a little fun in here. What we're going to do is we're going to decorate it with some miniature garden accessories, so basically small toys if you have some lying around. Okay, so let me grab some miniature garden accessories. We're going to use some mushrooms. So these are mushrooms made out of foam or thermocol. You can just arrange as you like it, and just going to drop some here. I have some very interesting toys as well. This is a small cow, and I'm going to put a small cow here. Very unrealistic but fun. I have some very small chicks. Just going to keep them here. You can do it as you like. It's no hard and fast rule to what you might do in a decoration. I have a duck here. I'll probably keep it here. Now I do have a nameplate which we can actually put it here. Then you can write your name here, and Afzal's garden, Maria's garden. We have some ladybugs. Now these ladybugs are made out of wood. They're quite interesting. They have small rubber stickers on them. Double-sided tape on them, so you can actually stick it on the leaves. It doesn't really harm the leaves. You've seen it does nothing to the leaves. Or you can stick it to the side of the pot. Makes it interesting. Looks like the ladybugs on your pot. And I have a couple of honeybees in the same type, and we're going to put the honeybees on the kalanchoe. The kalanchoe is a little fuzzy leaved one, so these might fall off or might not. So let's see. They're holding pretty well. So we have a duck, we have a cow, a small cow, we have few mushrooms. Why not go ahead and add a hedgehog too? So we'll add a hedgehog, and if you want, you basically can add anything. So I just feel like adding a beach umbrella, so I'll do that. Maybe here on the side a little bit like this. So we're done with the first miniature garden. Now this is a perfect miniature garden to make at your home, especially for kids and for parents. You can make it for your kids. Now for kids this is extremely easy, as you have seen. Just go ahead and make it and decorate it with whatever you have. If you don't have access to miniature toys, then use the toys that you have at home. If you don't have access to plants from outside, then use the plants that you have at home. But enjoy making this miniature garden. So we'll move on to the next one. So moving on to our next garden. This one is slightly bigger, which will actually make it easier for you to plant. So what we're going to do is, this one is indoor miniature garden. So we're going to use all indoor plants which require less or no sunlight. We're quickly going to start with some plants. This is a peace lily. Now what I like to do is, with a miniature garden of this size, I first like to place my plants on top of it without removing the pot. So what it gives me an understanding of how many plants I can actually put in there. So I'm going to put the peace lily like this. I'm going to use this ZZ plant. The ZZ plant is very versatile. It's also an air filtering plant. This is a Philodendron Xanadu. Now we've used a plenty of green here. So what we're going to do is, we're going to add this very fantastic colored Aglaonema lipstick. Now Aglaonemas are very resilient and they will withstand very low lights. We're going to slightly give it a more contrast of color with this Syngonium. This is a Syngonium bronze pink. Okay, just for reference, this is a Syngonium pink. So I don't know which one you would rather use. Maybe a pink. We'll go with the bronze this time. Okay, what we'll do is, we'll put it on the side, and for the pop of color and some fun, we'll put in Kalanchoe. The Kalanchoes are not exactly an indoor plant. They require some amount of sunlight, but I want to give in some color, and Kalanchoes can handle a little low light time and again, so we will actually put it in here. Okay, now we do have some space, so what we'll do is, we'll use this very beautiful English ivy. English ivy is basically a creeper or creeping plant, so we'll put it on the side so it'll look nice. Okay, we'll do that. Or actually, on this particular side, we will add a money plant. All of us have money plants at home. If you don't, it's easily available. We'll put the money plant on the side, okay, because we want something to come out of the pot as well. We will give it different characters. We want some height, we want some color, and we want something coming out. Okay, so basically, plants like these which add color are known as thriller. So this is a thriller. These green leaf plants which actually fill in the space are known as fillers, and this are creepers. Okay, and what we will do is, I think it's enough, so we'll add another filler here, probably this, because when we compact everything, the space of the pots will go back and we'll be left with some space to decorate. So what I'll do is, I'll quickly repot them and put them here to save some time. What I've done now is, I've removed the pots and actually put them on the potting mix. Now once I do that, you're going to see that there's some places that still need more potting mix, and I'm going to level it with some more potting mix which we have. Now at Myro Farms you can readily purchase a pack of all-purpose potting mix, which is also available on Big Basket, or like I said, you can make your own using some red soil, some sand, but the potting mix which we have is soil-less, so it has no red soil, so it's not actually going to stain your hands, it's not going to keep your pot waterlogged, and it gives excellent drainage. So we're just going to fill up the gaps here and there on the sides that we have, and then once we do that, we can move on to decorating our pot. Now once again, with these type of plants, if you pack them close, that's absolutely fine. If you feel the need to separate them later on, you can always do that, but as of now they will grow just perfectly in these pots together. They will share the water requirement, they will share the light requirement, and they will actually thrive. I'm just going to put some more potting mix in the front and then start laying some stones or gravel on top. So now that I've layered my potting mix and leveled it, I'm going to start with laying in some colored stones. Now I want to give this a nice pop of color, so I'm using red. You can use any color or any type of stones that you like. There is no rule as to what stones to use. A lot of people ask me if putting stones or gravel on top of the plant, top of the pot, actually makes any difference to the plant. So it doesn't. It doesn't. Some people feel that the stones might actually become very hot in summer and actually affect, but it doesn't a great deal. And especially this particular one is an indoor plant, so you can actually go ahead and add stones as you like. Now what I'm going to do is, I've put red, I've put green, and I have some slightly brownish color gravel, which I'm going to just put on the sides, because I don't want the potting mix to be seen, because it just gives it that nice finish. And I'm just going to go ahead and put it on the sides. You can just fill it up as you like. You can fill in the gaps. Now this is also going to be a fun miniature garden, so we're going to put some nice interesting accessories and basically toys. So this is a terracotta duck, so we're going to put say 2 ducks, one here and maybe one on the top here inside. We're going to put some nice big blue squirrels. You can use whatever you want. These are just to make it some fun. Then we can use a miniature garden accessory box, and we can add more mushrooms. As I said, you can add whatever you want. You can put a name card, write your name, the name of your garden. Put a nice boat here without any water. You can put some hedgehogs, you can stick them, or you can just keep them on the stones. You can put cows, ducks, whatever you want. There's some nice sheep here. I'm going to just put them here, and you can put another duck. I think we have had enough of ducks here, so that should be enough. Same thing, we can go ahead and put some beautiful ladybugs on the pot. Looks fun. You can put them on the leaves. You can put them on the ZZ leaves. You can put the honeybees. Basically, you can put whatever you like. Just going to put another ladybug here. And we are more or less done with our indoor miniature garden. Now, do note that some plants, when you actually change the pots and repot them, they might go into something which is known as a repotting shock. The leaves might actually look, they might look pale, they'll go down and stuff. That's just a repotting shock. Give them a couple of days and they will spring back. 99% of the time they do. They'll just be fine. Water them properly. Okay, don't water them too much. What you want to do is, in a miniature garden, you want to stick your finger in, check the water. Okay, you touch the soil, see if it is moist. If it is moist, you don't water. Remember, don't water if the soil is moist. If it is dry to touch, only then you water. Whenever you water thoroughly. If your pot has a drainage hole, if it doesn't have a drainage hole, then you keep that in mind and water it at the base of the plants. Okay, the plants will show you signs of wilting if they're not getting enough water, so don't worry about it. Okay, now we're done with our slightly big miniature garden. So moving on to our last miniature garden. Now this one we're going to make it very simple. What I'm using for this rectangular pot is some money plant cuttings that we have. We simply cut money plants and you can put them in water. They will start developing roots. We put them in something which is known as net pots. You can plant with the net pots, without them. What I'm going to do is very simply put the money plants on a side towards the back. We're doing it for a particular reason, which you will find out soon. The next plant that I'm using is called a cryptanthus. The cryptanthus comes in various colors. This one is a nice pinkish brown. It also comes in a very beautiful bright pink. Now the cryptanthus we're going to put it slightly in the front. Okay, because the money plant is going to become big and then it's going to start creeping. The cryptanthus will become big, but it's not going to creep. It's going to be in the front. It's going to be the star of this pot. Okay, you want it towards the front like this, and you can simply use the potting mix to give it that appearance. Okay, the money plant, both of them slightly placed diagonally. The next plant that we're going to put are small miniature syngoniums. Now again we're giving the syngoniums towards the back for a little contrast in the color. Slightly pinkish brown. The same syngonium that we used in our previous arrangement, the syngonium bronze. Now, as I said, we are planting them with the net pots, which is completely okay. Okay, and I love using variegated jade, so we're going to put in some variegated jade. Now this is a mix and match, not only in terms of plants but in terms of sunlight. So this is going to be slightly say semi-shade to full sunlight, but the money plants don't require a lot of sunlight, so you're going to keep it in semi-shade. A nice bright lit place in the balcony is a good place to keep this. Okay, and then just to make it interesting, we're also going to use a havartia in this. Now I know havartia is a succulent, and remember that you don't want this pot to hold a lot of water, but the reason why we are putting this particular havartia is this particular havartia can do with a little less sunlight. So we will actually put this havartia like this. Okay, nicely, and then we are going to add some potting mix wherever there is space. Once we are done with that, we'll start so we're done compacting the soil. For this we'll make it very simple. We're just going to put a mix of color stones. which you can get at our store or any aquarium store. Very easily available. If you have some in the house, use them. You can use any other stones, whatever you desire. I just thought we'll make it nice and colorful. So there you go. You can just fill in the spaces. Now remember, whenever we are making arrangements, when we are doing arrangements with cactus and succulents, you want to give it 1 or 2 days before watering. So you will not water it the day that you're planting. But with indoor plants, it is the opposite. With indoor plants arrangements, you will water it the day you've made the arrangement. Okay, with cactus and succulents, sometimes the roots get damaged, and when you add water, that can lead to root rot. So you want to avoid watering it the same day that you plant it or repot it. Okay, so we are done. Since there are a lot of colorful stones in this, we are not actually going to use any miniature garden accessories. Like I said, there's no rule. You can put some ladybugs in here, you can put a nice butterfly, you can put a nice home, you can do anything that you like. And that's the fun with miniature gardening. With gardening, you're never actually limited to space. Like we showed, if you cannot go outside and make a garden, if you cannot plant trees and plants, then you can always make a small miniature garden. Now remember, this is on the occasion of Van Mahotsav, and we want you to plant more trees, plant more shrubs, bushes, fruit trees, whatever you can. Make a difference by planting something green, something nice, something fruit bearing if possible. Okay, so wish you a very happy Vana Mahotsav from the side of Nasser School and Myro Farms. Okay, do enjoy planting.